Everybody always wants to show you this hack for getting tires to seat on the bead. This is starting fluid. So what people will do is spray it inside your gap on an unmounted tire, or a mounted tire that's not seated on the beads. And then they light that, and the rapid expansion of the starting fluid will actually inflate the tire. It's really dangerous. It can ignite the rubber, continue to burn inside. That tire could explode later, or it could explode so violently that this bead forces itself past the lip of the rim and will release all of the pressure inside the tire in your face, which can actually kill you. So here's a much better way. So our valve, we normally want it on the bottom. That way that bottom bead will be sealed against the valve. So if you've ever tried to fill up a tire like this, these come in storage and they're very packed tight, so they get compressed. So you can see how this is nowhere near that bead seating surface. So I picked this up. This is a super seater. These are available online. I paid probably 50 bucks for this, but it was years ago. They might be a little more now. Whatever they cost, if you do your own tires, it's well worth it. I do advise you wear safety glasses. I'm not wearing them for this demonstration because it's just the way it is. So we find our valve on the bottom side of the tire. And a word about this. So I'm using just a regular chuck on this, but there's nothing in line with it. We're getting the full force of the compressor. If you deal with a tire that's very difficult to seat, what you can do is use a tool like this to remove the valve core out of the valve stem. And then you can use special chucks, because with no valve core, there will be nothing to, there'll be no restrictions, because that pin actually stands in the way, so you can get a high flow one of these. But I did mount this other tire that's laying behind it without it, so I don't think we're going to need it. But the idea is that while you use your bead blaster, I'm going to go ahead and apply high pressure air to the back side of the tire. Clip our chuck onto our valve stem like this. You always want to elevate the tire. You can put it on the vehicle that it's going to be mounted on. I like to use just a 5-gallon bucket if I'm not doing it at my tire changer, which right now is in a shed that doesn't have power. Then we're going to start to air this up. As you can hear, that's not going to seat that bead by itself. So you put your super seater, and you use usually between 80 and 120 psi. And you hear your beads popping. Ideally, you want to be away from the tire. That's why we put it up on the bucket. So we check to make sure all of our beads are seated. And then we can start airing up our tire. And there you have it, the tire's mounted.